Today we're going to try a little something different with some creative movement throughout the workout time.
Well, thank you for coming to the workout today. If you're like me, some days you just show up to show up. And efforts may not always be at 100, but you showed up for yourself, and that makes it a 100. Just, coming and giving what you have to give, because you committed to it and you value commitment to others and to yourself. So I have committed to myself that I want to daily commit to movement. I think that it's good for our bodies in order to have longevity, in order for some of those happiness hormones to be released so that we can, feel a little better going about our day. It's a great thing. And so here we are. We're going to go ahead and get started.
So today we're just going to do a bit of a weird workout, okay? We're going to raise up onto our toes with our hands over our head, just trying to really focus on breathing and exhaling, inhaling. Hopefully you remember to put your hair up before starting this, unlike myself, but okay, we'll get that done real quick. So essentially some days I just get in the workout room and do something that feels good movement-wise. If I feel stiff in certain areas, like just at the top of my hips, I may start sort of curving my spine side to side. I'll keep my arms raised above my head as I'm doing this because it feels good in my shoulder area to kind of wiggle my shoulder blades back and forth and back and forth. You can kind of feel how that some of those muscles in our back, they hold a lot of tension. And so if you can just get your spine kind of curving and turning into these S's, and then just kind of rotate in your lower spine while you round your upper spine. Now we'll just kind of peel ourselves down like we're peeling a banana, but our spine is the peeling. Then we'll start working our legs, letting our feet know that we're going to be needing them, that we appreciate them, and that we're going to show them some love, some intentional love. Really focus on feeling the balls of your feet. Press into your toes as you swing forward, just kind of swinging your arms back and forth in this real fluid motion. Now we're going to pretend like our toes are attached to our fingers, like little toe puppets. Spreading our toes and fingers and raising them up. Just leave our hands as widely stretched as we possibly can, continuing to raise the toes. I know this stuff's weird, but think about the things that children do. Kids, if you ever watch them, they are constantly moving. They're taught to stay still through school or because we set them in front of a screen. But movement is kind of something we're born with. From the moment that we come into the world, we start with all of our little motor skills, and those develop slowly over time. And at some point, we actually begin to move away from those movements. So things I've been doing recently have been trying to recreate some of those things we would have done as a child. And I can remember, putting my hands down on the ground, trying to hold up on my fingertips while pressing my, feet up through the ball of my feet and toes, and just feeling the motions in my knees and in my hips. And then alternating feet as I keep my knees straight, just so that I can feel that little bit of stretch in my hips. And then standing and rolling our neck back and forth. Just dipping our chin down against our chest, massaging the back of our neck if we want to with our hands. Just breathing as we rotate in our spine around, just kind of drawing a miniature U with our ponytail to the sky. Just let that spine rotate around. Now we're drawing O's, coming around, and again start rolling the neck against our chest, back and forth from left to right. Now side to side. Again, around in circles. In the chest. Anything that feels good to you. Now, if you'll interlace your fingers and put your hands up over top of your body as you hinge at the hips. Just really try to stretch the back side of your arm. Okay. Hands now on the floor as we just kind of rock back and forth in our hips. Press down, flat hands to fingertips, and flat hands to fingertips, flat hands to fingertips. Just feel that ever so slight difference in the back of your spine, maybe the tightness of your hamstrings. Just trying to release some of that as we just kind of breathe and move through it. Now we'll stand up. Wiggle our shoulders back and forth, lifting right then left as we push down the alternate shoulder. Then we roll our shoulders backwards, up, shrugging and backwards in a rotational type motion. Okay. Now what we're going to do is sit on our bums and we're going to put our hands in behind our bottom and press up through our feet as we do a reverse tabletop. Now, what I would suggest is that you breathe in as you come up and exhale as you go down. In as you come up, out as you go down. In as you come up, out as you go down. In as you come up. Make sure that as you hinge down, you mainly do the motion through your hips. You'll feel it in your hips. You don't even want your feet to stay flat against the floor. Try to keep them at a 45-degree angle. A 90-degree angle with your shin, and just up and down into tabletop and then sitting on our bottom. Up. Okay, now we're going to do side steps with our hands. So kind of like a crab crawl, you will just step side to side with your hands, trying to keep a slight bend in your elbow the whole time. You don't want to completely lock out your elbow, as this may cause a little too much tension in the elbow joint. So if you keep it ever so slightly bent, it will help to ease some of that tension in that joint. Now we're going to get up onto our chair or bench, whatever we have close, or couch face. Be sure to keep your elbows tucked in, and we're going to do dips. So just bring your body down until your elbow is at a good 90-degree angle. Really trying to keep those elbows tucked in. This one's hard for me. I've got to take a little break for a moment. Now's a great time to grab some water if you need it, and we'll get ready for our next exercise. So grab your exercise band and we're gonna just wrap it around the outside edge of both of our hands in kind of a windshield wiper fashion around our shoulders. We take our hands and gently press them outward. Try to pretend like you're drawing a straight line with your palms parallel to the ground. So we're not really wiping so much as we're swiping, maybe would be the best way to put that. All right, and now we're gonna get ready and get on the floor to do reverse tabletop once more. I just gotta get one more little shoulder stretch in. Okay, so get into position and remember, inhale as you come up, exhale as you go down. So once you got your hands in place, shoulders over top of wrists, all of our shoulder, elbow, and wrist alignment should be in order. Just I just need to move back onto my toes again. Just do a little bit more footwork right here in the middle of this workout. Sometimes I just like to transition between movements. I don't think that it's a bad thing to just kind of exercise however you feel on the fly. Okay, now we're gonna do the crab walks one more time from side to side. So we'll go into position and then just left and right. And right. Remember, try to keep a slight bend in your elbows. You're doing great. You're just almost finished. There we go. Now let's get ready for our dips. Don't forget to tuck your elbows. Be sure and be a weirdo and wiggle around like me. I don't know about you, but it's starting to burn. All right, I think I can do a few more of these dips. Let's get it done. All right, let's stand up. We're gonna do a little bit more body work. So just rolling our head from side to side, just kind of rocking a little bit with the music. Any kind of movement that you feel like doing in your body, now is the time, because it's the time that you've set to intentionally move. Stretch out, get our hands in behind our back. Again, really try to stretch out our chest. They're in our biceps. I'll keep those fingers interlaced and just and move your scapula towards each other. Just try to touch them together. And then rotate your shoulder up and down like you're trying to draw a in with it. Now, up and down motion as you try to pinch your scapula together. Kind of works your traps there. You'll start to feel. Now alternating. And just kind of rotating in our upper body through the scapula and around the lumbar spine and the thoracic spine. Just let your spine curve back and forth. Roll your hips around. Anything, any kind of movement that you like or enjoy and feels good. So now we'll go back and do our reverse tabletop. We'll get into position. Remember, inhale on the uprise. Inhale. Exhale. Now the crab walk, side to side. You know, the back of my arms are getting a good workout today. Hope yours are too. Almost done. There we go. Now we're going to do our dips. So if you'll get set up on your venture chair, get one quick breath, hands in place. Remember, bring elbows to a 90-degree angle. Keep them tucked in. All right, let's go. Little break. Quick drink of water if you got it nearby. All right, let's cool down, guys. Start by rotating your right arm in a counterclockwise motion. Just really stretching to the farthest range of motion in that shoulder. Slow, steady motions, really feeling that joint and trying to support it with all of those muscles and tendons as you roll around. Now let's do it the other side. Take your left arm and rotate in a clockwise motion. Remember to just feel that joint, really support it with those muscles and tendons around it. We're not trying to sling it around. Okay, and now we're going to put our hands together and just kind of rotate within our shoulders, just pressing your scapula forward and kind of in an upward direction as you lift your arms and elbows. Now we'll go from shoulder height up to over top of our head as we press hands out and then in and up, out and then in and up, out and in and up. It really should feel good in your shoulders. Now we're going to just kind of try to make diamonds back and forth over top of our head with our arms, the shape of our arms. Really supporting that shoulder joint again, but stretching it out. Now let's try to make squares as best as we can. So really push your elbow out and against your head kind of as you lift upward to kind of try to best as you can make a square. All right, now we're going to, oddly enough, draw our contour with our hands as we roll over our face. I know this seems a little strange, but if you focus on your traps and your deltoids and those shoulder blades, you'll really feel good. Now we're going to bend over, put our hands on the ground, and just shift back and forth in our hips a bit. Loosen things up. Lifting feet if it feels good, toes if it feels good. Listen to your body. You do what your body needs. I'm doing what mine needs. I'm just trying to be thankful for it, move it, enjoy it, be one with it. Lifting up to our toes, trying to keep our knees straight as we prop up with our fingertips. I really start to feel this in my calf muscles when I do this exercise. It really doesn't take much of those. Really try to steady yourself and balance. Then we're going to hinge at our knees and come down to the balls of our feet. Just kind of rotating our ankle to press from the balls of our feet into our toes, just back and forth, putting more pressure in the toes and then back to the ball. Now we're going to get ready and stand up and going to roll our neck around. So what I want you to do is try to take and with your eyeballs pretend like you are tracing a giant U on the back wall. As you tuck your chin into your chest, roll your eyes around and look towards the back wall. Now just rock your neck back and forth, rotating it in your shoulders. If you find a tight spot in your neck, just feel around with your fingertips and wherever there might be a really tight tendon, just kind of roll your fingers over it. Give it a little massage. Try to ease the tension a little bit. Don't go too hard with it, but just kind of work in that tendon a little bit. And rotate around. See if you can find another spot on the other side of your neck maybe that also might be holding a little too much tension. If you do, put your hand up, give a little roll. So let's just try something weird in this workout, and that is to just hang out for a little bit. I would love it if, you have any thoughts on this as you're sitting here, like you just type it in the comments. I really do want to help people to love exercise, because I really do love exercise. Like, I know I had a friend yesterday message and called my room the torture room. I understand where you're coming from, because I used to think that about exercise. And now that I'm doing it all the time, I beg to differ. It gives me something to look forward to every day. It is something I'm doing to respect my body and try to treat it well. And I'm glad that I made the commitment to myself to do that, and that I've been keeping with it. And I hope that if you also struggle with that you will find this message an encouragement to you, that if I can do this. You can do this. Promise you. Anyways, I'm going to hush now. If you have any thoughts, please do, comment below. If you enjoyed this, I ask that you would subscribe to my channel. I'm doing this because I want to help people. I'm trying to do it online because I still do want to stay at home with my kids and try to continue homeschooling them, and to have an online coaching community. That for me would be very important. That way I can work from home, doing something that I enjoy, and being relevant to others, and helping to sow into other people's lives, as well as my own kids. Those are all important values to me. So anyways, if you like this video, I ask that you would subscribe to my channel. And thanks again for joining.